Hey guys, how are you doing? It's Carrie. I want to give you an ascension update, an energetic update, and discuss some of the current situation that is unfolding on planet Earth. Okay, so recently a few of my friends have been saying to me, what is going on? I thought things were getting better, and now it seems like they're getting worse, okay? And by things, I'm talking about this virus situation, okay? And I don't want to give it any credit and really even like say the name. So we're just gonna call it the virus situation. Okay, this virus situation is awakening humanity, okay? It is awakening the people who were kind of on the fence or whatever, who hadn't been awakened to ascension yet, and it is awakening those people, okay? So it serves its purpose, okay? You know, some people, they need an extreme thing to happen in order to awaken to the higher truth of their reality, right? And so this is serving that purpose in awakening certain people who just for whatever reason hadn't woken up yet to the truth of, you know, reality, why we're all here, the shift that's going on the earth at this time. And so this has actually awakened a new wave of people, okay? Now the answer is it's getting better and it's getting worse. So my answer is it's both. It's getting better and it's getting worse at the same time, because there is something simultaneously playing out here, guys, okay? We have two realities right now, okay? Two realities that are splitting. They're splitting ways, but they're still kind of running parallel to each other until they get far enough apart to where they will not be aware of each other, okay? It's like two people walking side by side, and they're slowly going in different directions until they get to a point where they can't see each other anymore, okay? That's as simplistic as I can make this process. This is the shift. Okay, so at the same time that you see things getting worse and you see greater restrictions, you also see other restrictions in other places being completely dropped. You see, okay, let me give you an example here. I just went and had my toes done. And when I walked in, they asked me to sign some paperwork, basically saying I was not having any symptoms of any kind. And I had to initial, and then they made me wear a mask. Well, I haven't worn a mask this entire time, okay? And I am very against it. I would have walked out. However, because I know them and I've been getting my nails done there for years, and I know that they're struggling right now and that they're being told they have to do this or their business is going to be closed, that is the only reason that I stayed, okay? Had it have been anybody else, I care about these people. They're my friends. If I honestly would have just been in a random nail salon, I would have fucking walked out. I don't need my toes done that bad to have to give up my constitutional rights, okay? Again, I was there, and also I'm inducing consciousness in the place because they know it's bullshit. They're also awake, but they're Vietnamese, and they really feel very, you know, they're not as prone to make waves when they're in America, you know, and this is all they have. Their business, okay? So I know all this, so that's the only reason. And I even told them, I said, look, if it was anybody else, I would be walking out here right now. And he was like, I'm really sorry, Carrie. I'm like, I know it's not your guys' fault, you know, but it's like, this is how it happens incrementally, you know, but it's okay because I know what's going to happen. I can feel the truth of what's going to happen in my heart. So it's not a big deal. And, I wanted to support them. But while I was in there was a girl sitting a couple chairs away, and she was like, at first, she's wearing a mask and everything. So at first, I think we're talking about the same thing. She's talking about something being ridiculous. And so in my head, I'm thinking we're talking about this whole fucking ridiculous situation that is clearly a lie to enslave humanity and prevent the ascension of Mother Earth, right? So I'm thinking she's onto it, right? But then she starts saying shit that lets me know she is really wrapped up in it. However, that's not the point. The point is that what she said was more evidence and validation for me that there are two realities happening. Okay, and this is what I'm going to share with you. So she's saying, oh, her and her friend are going to go to San Diego next weekend, and she just needs to get away from this whole thing. She needs to get to the beach, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm thinking, well, man, this is awesome. You know, she's awake. She's like, fuck this shit. I'm going in nature. You know, she's traveling. She's not letting this stop her. And then she's like, but I'm just kind of worried because I saw these pictures of like some of these bars and restaurants that opened, and they were not social distancing. They're like packed in there. And she's like, I was like kind of scared. And I'm like, oh Lord. And then she starts like holding up her phone and showing me pictures. And sure enough, it looks like a normal bar, you know, what a normal bar or restaurant used to look like. People are standing up, nobody's social distancing, whatever. They look like they were having fun. Nobody was giving a fuck. And so that right there, here I am being asked to sign a waiver, you know what I'm saying, and wear a mask. And if I have fucking flu-like symptoms, just to get my nails done. And then 4 or 5 hours away, there are restaurants and bars with people standing shoulder to shoulder, drinking and having a good time, right? So I tried to induce some consciousness in her, and I was like, well, because I can't obviously just say you're fucking, you know, going along with the bullshit, lady, wake up. But I was like, well, why do you think that, you know, that's allowed to happen? You know, think. Why isn't this consistent? You know? And she's like, I don't know. She's like, my fiance works in Orange County, and you have to wear a mask everywhere to go do anything, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to get her to see the inconsistency of this whole thing. Because once you can wrap your mind around the truly inconsistency of this whole thing, you can begin to see the holes in the bucket and realize that this cannot be a real thing, because there is absolutely no way to protect from it. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no way. There's even you know, inconsistency in the jurisdiction, in the geographical areas. I mean, my sister lives in Texas. Everything's open. My mom and stepdad live in Florida. Everything's open, you know? So, I was trying to get her to think critically and start to realize the holes in this bucket, but it didn't seem like it was getting into her. But whatever. The point is, she told me something that was indicative of these two realities which are playing out, okay? So it's getting better and it's getting worse. It's getting better because the consciousness is rising, because people are waking up. It's getting worse because they know that people are waking up. They know that they're losing in a really big way. And this time it's complete loss of control over humanity and the planet. So this is the ultimate loss for them. And so they're trying to enforce greater and greater restrictions out of desperation. Okay? When you're fighting against an opponent and they do something out of desperation, that doesn't mean they're winning. In fact, that is evidence that you're winning. Do you see what I mean? So it's like you can kind of just like laugh, shake your head, and then just retrain your focus on the new earth. Okay? Retrain your focus on seeing people in your mind. You're very powerful. So instead of complaining, we need to create. Okay? We need to create. And so in my head, I'm just picturing, you know, everybody's over this. Everybody's celebrating. It's like the best ends up being the best summer ever. You know, all these lies are exposed. The corruption in the medical industry and the government is exposed. The economy has to shift to contain our higher consciousness. True health is returning to people. And I will leave a link to Georgie Stankove's latest article where he talks about healings are starting to occur, because for the people that are in the light body process, spontaneous healings are going to be a part of the new earth. Spontaneous physical healings, guys. Old injuries. People are going to be able to regrow limbs, okay? Things that seem impossible are going to be commonplace. It's the age of miracles. So if you have a resistance to that idea, you need to start accepting it, okay? This is going to be the age of miracles. And he was talking about some old knee injuries that he had dreams about that are healing now and all this stuff. Okay. Also realize that sometimes when something, and he mentions this in his article, so I'm basically paraphrasing Dr. Georgie Stankove, and he's talking about how sometimes when something's about to heal, you have a reoccurrence of it, of symptoms of it, or it might get worse before it gets healed, okay? For various reasons, but these are not things that the medical industry can properly diagnose. Why? Because the medical industry is not the universe, you know? The medical industry is not a spiritual entity, okay? A lot of people that go into the medical industry are young souls. They're young souls, okay? They're not old souls. They're not advanced souls. A lot of the people that go into the medical industry are concerned about power and titles. Not all, okay? So nobody say, oh my God, you said everybody that works in the medical industry doesn't give a shit, blah, blah, blah. No. A lot of them are primarily in the industry for the title and for the power, okay? Helping people is secondary to what they perceive as a respectable kind of envied title, okay? That's just how it is, guys. And I've talked to people that are from families that push them into the medical industry, and I know there's a lot of ego in there. Now, that's not to say everybody. There are some very kind, caring doctors and nurses and humanitarians in the medical industry, okay? But those are the people that you see coming forward and blowing the whistle and starting to tell people what the fuck is really going on in these hospitals. Those are those people, the old souls, the ones who aren't going to trade their soul for money or for lies or to look good, okay? That's a mark of an old soul. So this is, like I said, parallel. Looks like it's getting worse, but it's also the consciousness is raising. It's getting better in the only way that really matters, because this is not a situation or a war that can be fought at a governmental level. It's just not. It's not going to be. I know a lot of people are patriots and they think that this is something that's going to resolve itself at a governmental level. It's not, guys. I'm sorry, but I have to say I don't think that it is. I do believe that President Trump will win this next election. But we might actually have shifted by then to the fifth dimension, so it won't even matter. But regardless of if he wins or he doesn't win, even if he wins, he's only in there 4 more years, and he's limited also with what he can do. You know, people think just because you're the president or something, you have all this power to do everything. The way that they have set it up, it's a checks and balances system. I mean, this is legislature 101. We were taught this in school, guys. There's a checks and balances system. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, okay? So that's not the answer. The answer is not, oh, let's just give our power away again to another leader that's going to save humanity and, fix everything. No. This is that wake-up call. This is the wake-up call of, no, wake up and take back your sovereignty as a soul. You're a soul, guys. You're a soul. You're an eternal conscious being here voluntarily, by the way, having a human experience. And if you're on the planet at this time, at this particular time, this fucking year of 2020, and you're alive and you're breathing on this planet, and especially if you're watching this video at 15 minutes and 41 seconds, you, excuse me, you're here for this ascension. You're here for this ascension. You knew this was going to happen at a soul level, and you incarnated here in order to be a part of it. And your goal, let me just tell you, because it's not anyone's goal not to wake up. Your goal was to wake up. Your goal was to wake up to your divinity, to your eternal nature, to your sovereignty, and rise above and out of this society and this system, and realize that you are a creator being. You are a powerful creator being, and you can create worlds, okay? And sometimes that power, that realization and that power fucking scares people. But that's understandable. But if you resist waking up because you're scared, then you're not ready for ascension, okay? You're not ready for ascension, and you will miss the boat. It's just that simple. And you're not going to have this opportunity for another 26,000 years. A 26,000 year cycle is called a Kali Yuga cycle. And that is what we came to the end of recently. And why we have this chance of global awakening and mass ascension and evolution. Okay? So the people that don't wake up for this ascension are going to have to go through, many thousands of years of incarnations and more lessons and more everything, more suffering, because it's really suffering is really what wakes up souls. That's why this whole process has been good in waking up more people, because it's created suffering. See what I'm saying? It's like tough love, So what I'm saying is, you guys need to realize that you're creating your reality. And if you want to keep for me, this virus thing is fucking over. It's over. Like Abraham Hicks says, when she says, if you ever listen to Abraham Hicks, she channels an entity called Abraham, and her name is actually Esther Hicks, but I don't want to get off on that, but I just want to say, she says, are you beating the drum? You're beating the drum of this, but you want this, but you're beating the drum of this. That's not law of attraction, guys, okay? Let's say I want to get married, okay? I want to get married. But then all day long, I'm like, oh, I'm so lonely. Nobody wants me. I'm banging that drum. The universe is going to respond to the drum that I'm banging, right? So if we're sitting around going, oh my God, it's getting worse. Oh my God. You know what I mean? That's what we're sending out into the universe. So for me, I don't really even talk about it anymore. I don't watch news. I never did. I don't fucking care anymore. Obviously, I'm aware of it because I have an awareness, an expanded awareness, and I can see what's happening, and I take in information that's valuable, but I'm not reacting. I'm not reacting. I'm creating. See what I mean? It's totally different. I'm creating. I'm creating my world the way that I want it. And the way that I want the world is, I want a world of unity consciousness, abundance, and health for everyone. That's the world I want. That's the world I see. That's the world I know in my heart is going to occur. And anything that looks, operative word being looks, contrary to that is an illusion. It's an illusion, and it's not a drum that I'm going to bang. Does that make sense? So spend time, even if you get into fear or something upsets you or whatever, redirect your focus, because your focus is what they're trying to steal. Your focus and this is a war on consciousness, okay? It's a war on consciousness. They want your focus. They want to generate fear. They want to generate frustration. They want to generate you feeling inferior and like you are being controlled and scared. You see what I'm saying? So it's important to think what the opposite of all that is. Oh, they want my focus. Well, they're not fucking gonna get it. See what I mean? They want my focus. It's like a little kid throwing a fucking temper tantrum. Do something else, guys. Like my friend was complaining because there was a beach closed by his house. And he's like, oh my God, you know? And like, no, I'm making fun of my friend, because my friend is wide awake in this situation, by the way, but he was very upset about it. And I said to him, listen, do something else. Do something else that puts you in the high vibration. Go to a forest. Go for a drive. Realize you truly are an unlimited being, and that beach, I promise you, is not your only fucking option, okay? I promise you. There is a park. There is a magical clearing. There is something near you that is beckoning you. If you would just surrender and ask the universe where your soul can go and be on your higher vibration, it's going to offer you something, guys. It's going to offer you something, okay? Trust. This doesn't end like the Holocaust, okay? We're not in those days. We've come eons since those situations. This is not how that ends. That is not how this ends, okay? This ends victorious with freedom of humanity. Even if it's lagging for a while, guys, it's fine. Somebody just said to me today, oh, they're going to try to take all of our summer or whatever. Okay, I will gladly give them my fucking summer so I can have my entire sovereignty back. You see what I'm saying? Come on, guys. It's a few months. Even if it took a year, but you knew the end result was human liberation. We can get through this. We can get through this. So breathe into your creative space. Realize you are an eternal soul, and everything that is happening is completely temporary, and it's not the truth of who you are, okay? So ignore it, because it's not the truth of who you are. So why focus on an illusion? The second thing is, if they want you to feel fear, then don't be afraid. It's easy. Oh, they're trying. It's like when one of your siblings keeps bothering you. Did your family ever say, "Well, they just do it because they know they can get a rise out of you"? I did. You know, my brother used to pick on me because he always knew he could get an emotional response from me. But when I finally learned to stop giving him the emotional response, he did it a lot less. And now he barely does it because he knows it doesn't really affect me anymore. Okay? He doesn't get a reward out of it. The reward that the beings who are losing this game get out of your fear is they feed on it. Fear is an energy that is very nourishing to them, okay? They're lower beings. They're lower consciousness beings, and fear is food. So stop feeding the beast. Stop being afraid, okay? The best thing you can do is to get real confident in your sovereign shoes, okay? And realize who you are. And you do this by waking up to the truth of who you are as a sovereign eternal soul that doesn't need somebody's fucking permission to be on this earth, because guess what? You gave yourself the permission before you were born to be here. You made the choice to be here. And there is not one other person or being that's alive on this entire planet that can actually take away your right to be on this planet unless you give it to them, unless you give your consent to them, okay? And they will try to trick you to get your consent, but you don't have to give it to them, and they know it, and that's why they have to go a roundabout way. That's why they have to come up with these fucking hoax in order to take your freedoms away. They can't just directly do it. Do you see what I'm saying? They know they can't. It's a universal law. So they have to create a panic, a fear, a facade, something to make people afraid so that they voluntarily hand over their rights. And they feel like a good person doing it also because they're protecting others. They're looking out for others' safety and health, right? So it's all kinds of fucked up. But you don't have to fall prey to it. You don't have to be fooled by it, okay? You can stay on your higher vibe and you can just be like, sorry, I don't agree to this. I don't agree to this, and it's temporary and it's ending, and I'm going to go over to this beautiful tree right now and touch it and look at it and think about what the fifth dimension is going to be like and feel the liberation of my heart and soul rising up in my being. And then, maybe I'll go have a coffee that's really yummy, and I'll go pet my dog and give it kisses on its little nose, and then I'll go hug someone I love, and we'll fucking laugh our asses off about the situation. Our vibe will just get higher and higher and fucking higher until it all gets so high that this planet has no choice but to break through this lower dimensional prison that we've been in, and we can all be restored to the pristine, unconditional loving beings that we are destined to become here in a physical body. So much love, guys. Hope you watch this whole thing. I know it's not the best background, but when my soul says make a video, I make the video. So love you guys. Mwah. Mwah. Love each other. Love each other. Stay high vibe. Keep your vibe up in any way that you possibly can. Stay out of places that make you feel like you have to give your rights away. Okay? Unless you feel like the greater good is to be there, like I did today. Hope all this makes sense. Love you guys. Bye.